Hello, Team Gerwell. You're flipping in fifth with me, Mrs. G. Today, we are going to be talking about Topic 2, Lesson 6. I'm sure you've already made this copy of your notes on your next available page in your math notebook, right? By now, you should be doing that without me even having to tell you. Today's learning target is I will be able to add decimal numbers and check my work. Check your work with math, not check your work with a calculator. So here are a couple of notes that I want you to write in right away because we don't have any vocabulary today. Number one, you're going to always line up the numbers you are adding or subtracting vertically. That's up and down. And make sure the decimal points line up. Number two, regroup when needed. That's carrying. Number three, the decimal in your answer should line up vertically with the decimals and the numbers you added. Not like up, they should line up. And number four, use the opposite operation to check. So addition, you're going to use subtraction. Subtraction, you're going to use addition. Oh, you're so smart. Go ahead and pause the video and write in today's notes. So why do I need to know how to add decimals, you ask? Does that look familiar? It certainly will by the end of the year. You need to know how to add decimals so you can manage your money and not have to live out of a box in our classroom. Or in real life, so you can make sure that you don't bounce a check. It's really embarrassing. So that's why we want to learn how to do this the right way. So in our example here, the first thing we're going to do is line up our numbers vertically first. So we have 213 and 12 hundredths. Good job. Plus 21 and 7 tenths. Great. Make sure those decimal points are lined up when you're writing them vertically. Otherwise, your place value is going to be all over the place. Now, if that smaller number in the second addend right down here makes it hard for you to add, well, you can simply write in a 0. Then add like you normally would with your whole numbers. Just make sure that the decimal point in the answer lines up with the decimals in the problem. So we need to check our math using math. So we decided that our answer was going to be 234 and 82 hundredths. Good job. So now we're just going to subtract the second addend. So we're going to subtract that, and we should get this number if we're correct. So let's try it out. 2 minus 0 is 2. 8 minus 7 is 1. Bring in that decimal point. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. And 2 minus 0 is 2. So did we get the right answer? Our numbers line up. So we did. Now you try. You go ahead and try this one. Find the sum of 31 and 44 hundredths, good job, and 24 and 813 thousandths, good job. So I want you to go ahead and write that problem vertically, stop the video, and when you have an answer, come back. Here comes the answer in 3, 2, 1. Did you write 56 and 253 thousandths? If so, you are correct. Give yourself a big pat on the back. If not, let me show you how we did it. So we have 31 and 44 hundredths, and we're going to add 24 and 813 thousandths. Remember, if the missing 0 in that first addend bothers you, you can just write it in. So now let's add. 0 plus 3 is 3. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 8 is 12. So we're going to carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 4 is 6. And 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we have to carry our decimal point down and make sure that it's in line. So now we need to check it, so we're going to do the opposite, right? And the opposite of addition is subtraction. So now we're going to do 3 minus 3 is 0, 5 minus 1 is 4, 2 minus 8 you can't do, so we need to borrow from the 6. Make that a 5. So now we have 12 minus 8, which is 4, 5 minus 4, which is 1, 5 minus 2, which is 3, and bring in that decimal point. Do our numbers match up? They do, so our answer is correct. Can I trick you? Okay, I want you to find the sum of 714 and 3 75/100. Stop the video and come back when you're ready for the answer. All right, here comes a hint before the answer if you weren't able to figure this one out. When adding a whole number, like 714, and a decimal, the decimal is imaginary and comes to the right of the ones place. You can write it in if it helps you line up the numbers. So we could just write in a decimal point right there. So now let's line it up. 714, let's put the decimal in just because it helps us, plus 3 75/100. Make sure your decimal points line up. Again, you can add zeros in if it messes you up. So let's just go ahead and add those two in. So then we need to add. 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 7 is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. Bring the 1 down and bring the 7 down. So now we need to see if our math is correct. You always need to check when you're doing these kinds of problems. I know it takes extra time, but it has to feel good at the end of it to know that you got 100% on your problems because you already know because you checked them. So we're going to subtract, and do our numbers match? They do. Of course they do. So I can never trick you. You're so smart, and you worked so hard to try to figure that one out and to persevere. It was great. So here are your practice problems. Make sure to write them in your math notebook and don't forget to check using the inverse operation. Go ahead and stop the video, answer these problems, and come back when you're ready for the answers. Okay, here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to just leave these up on the screen because I think by now you probably all have the hang of it, but I want you to go ahead and record those answers. You can hit pause on the video if you need some more time. Remember before you go to make sure that you checked your work and you wrote how many you got correct. Be honest, it's not for a grade. I need you to fill in your self-reflection. Could you teach a friend this tomorrow if maybe they were absent or weren't able to watch the video? Or do you still need a little bit of extra help from a teammate or from Mrs. G? Just let me know. And also fill in the space for any questions you still have. I hope you had a great night and I look forward to seeing you in the morning. Bye-bye.